I was reading an article today which says that when you are young, you have time, you have energy, but you don't have money. But as soon as you pass on, as soon as you move on from school, college to doing a job or having your own business, you realize that you have energy, you have money, but you don't have time. You feel as if you could have time, you could have done more things and you could earn more money. But situation is such that eventually when you move on, it is a time to take rest. And when you move on in your 70s or 80s or 60s, then you realize that you have money, you have time, but you lack energy. You don't have any more energy which is sufficient to do what you could do when you were young. So how many of you have felt this kind of situation in your life? We lack any of these three resources in all walks of life at some day or other. But what if I tell you that what can you do, what steps can you take to make sure that you have symphony and synergy between all these three resources and you are able to manage all these three resources effectively in all walks of life? So let's quickly go ahead and discuss all those things. If you adopt those things in your life, if you're able to understand them, you will have a great life. You will be able to strike a balance between these important resources of life. So the number one thing is identifying your purpose. How many of you ask this question to yourself? Why do you exist in this world? What do you stand for? What is the meaning of your life? Why do you want to do what you want to do? Most of us fail to identify why do we exist in this world. And if we know the true purpose of our life, if we know maybe the true purpose of our life may be to help as many people as we want in our life, maybe the true purpose of life that I want to basically do something for my parents which has been unprecedented. So you got to identify the true meaning and the purpose of your life, the reason behind doing whatever you want to do. And the second thing is, how many of you feel that you do a lot of things on a day-to-day basis? You have a lot of skills, but at times if somebody quickly asks you what are your skill sets, what are your competencies, you are not able to promptly respond. And do you know the reason behind that? The reason behind that is we never take a stock of skills that we basically have. We never take a stock and inventory of those skill sets, the knowledge that we have within us. We forget about them. And the number one reason behind that is that the competencies, the knowledge and the skill sets that we have, it is just kept within the resumes and in our profiles. We forget about ourselves only. So at times it is very important to know what skill sets do you have. Maybe you want to write all those skills and prioritize where you want to learn, what are those top skills that I have. It will give you a reminder to yourself that where you are good at. And one more thing which is very important in keeping a track between all these aspects is you should be able to prioritize things. You should be able to know what are those things which are urgent as well as important in your life. So if you know that, you will be able to prioritize things in your life, because you gotta spend your time and energy and money on those things which are important to you, which matters to you, which are linked to your true purpose. So in this way you will be able to strike a balance between all these three resources. And one of the most important thing that I again want to discuss with you, that you have to be a lifelong student. I was watching an interview of Indra Nooyi, whom you may know that she was an CEO of PepsiCo. So she was saying that one has to be a lifelong student. It is one of the important facts that she highlighted, and I was moved. Thereon I realized that it is very important that to learn something or other every day. Your today should be better than yesterday always. Last thing, which is the most important thing, if you are able to understand that, if you are able to master that habit, you will become unstoppable. No one can stop you getting the success that you want in your life. No one can stop you achieving all the goals that you want to achieve in your life. And that is action over procrastination. If you give priority to actions over procrastination, you'll always be successful. How many times do you plan things most of the time, but you are not able to implement them just because you don't feel like? And the number one important reason is that nothing inspires you. Maybe you plan things, but you don't know why are you doing that, what you're doing. If you know the reason behind whatever you are doing, you will always be driven. You'll always be self-driven and self-motivated. So I have discussed about all these things. You may want to re-watch the video to understand what I have talked about here, to strike a balance between the three aspects, three resources of life which are most important to us, which is time, money and energy. So I hope it makes sense to you. In case if you have any questions or any feedback, I would want you to drop in the comment section. And if you want to ask anything about the mindset and leadership, or if you are facing any problem that you want me to solve for you, and you want me to participate in your journey, and you want me to fix your problem, I'll be glad to answer. Leave your questions in the comment section. So this is your friend Tausif Hassan signing off. Until we meet again, have a fantastic day.